Breaking news today.
Please subscribe and then check notification box to get all breaking news alerts.
On Tuesday, CNN's April Ryan claimed that it would be insulting for President Donald Trump to attend the grand opening of the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum, which will take place this weekend. No sooner had Ryan opened her trap, though, White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders put the smackdown on her liberal nonsense by unleashing her worst nightmare. During the White House press briefing on Tuesday, Sarah Huckabee Sanders announced that President Donald Trump will be visiting Mississippi this weekend to participate in the grand opening of the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum. Naturally, some of the liberal reporters in the room took offense, insinuating that the president shouldn't show his face at the grand opening of the museum because he is racist. The journalist who seemed most disturbed that Trump would attend the grand opening was American Urban Radio reporter April Ryan, who said that various members of the NAACP and black ministers were planning to protest Trump's visit. There are comments from people from the NAACP from black ministers who are planning on protesting and boycotting this weekend for the president's visit to the Civil Rights Museum. What say you? Ryan asked Sanders, according to the Gateway pundit. I think that would be honestly very sad, Sanders responded. I think this is something that should bring the country together, to celebrate the opening of this museum and highlighting civil rights movement and the progress that we've made, and I would hope those individuals join in instead of protesting, she added. This should have served as an adequate response to Ryan's absurd question, but apparently, the reporter wasn't content. Showing her overwhelming bias, Ryan proceeded to bring up President Trump's response to the incident in Charlottesville, Virginia, which happened months ago. They take it as an insult that he's coming, said Ryan, who apparently felt compelled to speak for the entire African American community. As we've had issues of Charlottesville. The president didn't get his statement straight on Charlottesville, she went on. Sanders, who clearly had had enough of Ryan's absurdity, cut her off by saying, I think his statement was very clear. He made it very clear. He's against violence and bigotry, according to the Daily Caller. Since Ryan was kind enough to bring it up, let's take a look at President Donald Trump's official response to the violence in Charlottesville earlier this year and see for ourselves if it was so offensive, shall we? After riots broke out in Charlottesville when angry leftists crashed a white nationalist rally, Trump said, we condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides. That would seem a pretty straightforward condemnation of violence in all forms, right? Wrong. If you recall, the left was up in arms that Trump had referenced the actions of those on both sides of the aisle instead of targeting white supremacists specifically. It should be noted, however, that violence only erupted in Charlottesville after liberal protesters from groups like Antifa showed up. Trump released another statement soon thereafter, but even this did nothing to appease those on the left, who still want to crucify him over the ordeal if April Ryan's line of questioning on Tuesday is any indication. Racism is evil, Trump said in his follow-up statement. And those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans. Those who spread violence in the name of bigotry strike at the very core of America. Of course, if President Donald Trump had decided not to attend the grand opening of the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum, we would never hear the end of it. Reporters, including April Ryan, would be shouting from the rooftops about how racist Trump is for skipping such a historic event. Indeed, the president truly cannot win in the eyes of the liberal media. He's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't. Share the story and leave a comment by clicking one of the buttons below. Follow us on Facebook at Mad World News.